Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk with Brian Poduska. I'm Lyndon Wilson. I'm the creator of The Difference. The Difference is a social media video branding platform where we focus on small business owners, entrepreneurs, and independent contractors. And we want to bring them on our show, introduce them to our audience, tell and show the communities around how good they are, what they do, and help humanize their brand and what they're offering. We've got a new show starting in February. It's going to be called The Difference Makers, and we're really going to get into that even deeper and bringing on those small businesses in all of our communities. I've got several people that's going to be inviting guests on. Those shows are going to be on Tuesday and Tuesday at 11 and Tuesday afternoon at 3. They'll also be on Thursdays at 11 in the morning and 3 in the afternoon. And before we get started, obviously, I'm going to introduce our host here in a minute, but I want to take this time. If you haven't done so yet, please take a snapshot. If you're sitting at your computer, take a snapshot of this QR code and follow Brian Poduska. He's got several different social media platforms. There's a lot of good information about property management. He does a lot of other things in the community, and it would really help a lot if you would follow that. You can follow his show, a lot of different things, a lot of information on here that you can learn about Brian and Real Property Management Focus. Brian is going to be talking a little bit today. He's got a great guest, a couple of guests that's going to be on today. We're excited to talk about that. Let me see if I've got anything else that we're going to talk about. He's got some great sponsors. By the way, if you are interested in being a part of Real Talk with Brian Poduska and the sponsor role, guest role, anything like that, we're going to have some information throughout the show that will be scrolling at the bottom. And so that way you'll know how to contact Brian. So Brian, I know is backstage right now trying to get the watch party set up on social media. If he's ready, I'm going to bring him in. You ready to go, Brian?
Yes, sir.
All right.
What's up, man?
There we are. And here he is, the one and only Brian Poduska. How you doing today, Brian?
I'm doing fantastic. It's it's a good day. How are you doing, Lyndon?
Man, I'm doing good. Been working on these new shows that are coming up. I'm going to be working my rear off, man. These shows are an hour and a half a piece, and we're going to do 30-minute segments with a co-host, and that co-host is going to have a guest. And we're going to really try to get deep into these communities. A lot of things that you're already doing, Brian, with your show. And that's really what I want the Difference's focus to be. I want us to, we've talked about this before. People that are watching know, if they've watched before, how much the Difference has evolved from what our original vision was. And you were the original OG on there. But we've gone in such a good direction. And so I'm realizing the value of these small businesses in the DFW area and then in our own individual communities. And I want to bring more awareness to them. I want people to know who they are, know what they're doing, know how they're impacting the community, know their passion for the community and the people that live there, so that we can continue to compete. This world's changing so much, and I'm not going to go down the political avenue of that, but small businesses are the backbone of our community. You know what? Walmart, Home Depot, Lowe's, they all play a role, but without small businesses, we're not going to have the same type of communities that we love and why a lot of us moved to those communities in the first place. And so I want the Difference to be as big a part of bringing awareness to them as possible. Creating shows like you've done does that, and I couldn't be more happy to have you part of the Difference, and from day one all the way till now, and through the growth, through the COVID, through all of it, and here we are, and we continue to grow and continue hopefully to help more and more of these small businesses and people, and anyway, I want you now to take this time before you start introducing your guests to tell everybody about Brian Poduska, about Real Property Management Focus, how you're helping the people in your community and communities all over DFW, I guess, right?
Yeah, no, that's exactly right. And I will take a moment to say that, that the fact that the new show is coming on board with the difference makers, I think it's just an awesome and really impactful way to get spotlights on local business owners and further the cause. So you mentioned how the difference has evolved. It started as more of a kind of a mastermind type panel setting where we talked about specific topics that make the difference in business and in life. And we've evolved to having multiple shows, and now we've got, the difference makers coming on board as well. Still interweaving those same principles with the things that make the difference in business and in life. But now it's exactly what you said, Lennon. It's highlighting the local aspect of it and allowing folks to shine the spotlight on those local businesses and really strengthen partnerships and build partnerships through this venue, which is super unique, which is why, when we talked about it back before, it was just a little baby in your tummy, right? It made a lot of sense then, and it's really exciting to see what it's grown to.
Absolutely. And I appreciate all the work that you do. I know I tell everybody I feel like the luckiest guy in the world because I'm involved in all of these shows. And so I get to meet so many fascinating people. And I guess that's really what's changed my vision is getting to meet these small business owners and going, they're much more than their logo and their tagline. They're doing much more in their communities than just being an electrician or a plumber or whatever it might be. And that's really where I started to think if I want everybody to see what I get to see on every show. And so I want to expand those shows and have more hosts doing what you're doing. And so it's just, it's fun for me. And I think hopefully good and beneficial for everybody.
No, for sure it is. And, to segue that, we've got, one business owner that we can put a spotlight on today. We had two lined up.
The other one just came in. He's backstage too.
Okay. So we've got Brian as well. So we've got a few topics to talk about today, and these two actually tie in really well together because of what our guest, and I'll introduce Chad here in a bit, but our guest, Chad Caldwell, has a financial solution to our key audience, which is, or our key clientele with Real Property Management, which is, real estate investors and intentional real estate investors. So those that have real estate property as strictly income property, and hopefully a lot of it, because that's what really is beneficial with Chad's offering. So we'll get him in here in a bit. Real quick on Real Property Management Focus, we focus on your real estate investments. So those of you who know the show know that we try to tie in some real estate topics for each show. But our bread and butter, our business is managing your real estate property. So taking you as the owner out of the equation as much as you'd like to be. So where we basically send you money every month and you don't have to worry about the phone calls at 2 a.m. for leaky faucets or leaky toilets, whatever the problem may be. The key is, we're much more than that, in that we're full service. We have some really cool tools. One is called Wealth Optimizer, which really has a holistic view of any investment property. So specific to that property, the age of the property, has an algorithm built in where it basically can spit out what your maintenance expectations should be for that property, how much depreciation you would be able to take against it, what the neighborhood specific appreciation is. And it really draws out those cash flows over as long a period as you'd like, 20, 30 years, and gives you that holistic picture of what your real estate investment will return in the long run. So that is a tool that we have. We also have the ability to locate, purchase, obviously manage the properties, and then dispose of them on the backside when you want to get out of them. We're full service real estate brokerage as well. So that is Real Property Management Focus in a nutshell. If you want to get a hold of us, our information is scrolling at the bottom of the screen. 469-820-0088 is our phone number. You can reach out to me on email, brian.poduska realpmfocus.com. So that is us. And we do have the first guest I'm going to bring in is another Brian, Brian Dobbs, to be specific. So that always throws Lennon for a loop. So he's going to call us by our last name, or he could swear at us too. That happens from time to time. But Brian Dobbs is an eXp Realty agent, and what I'll call kind of the mastermind of something that we're going to talk about here in a second, and that is basically a real estate seminar, a real estate investing seminar that was his brainchild. And it's come together. We've done a few of these already. We're going to roll out several more here in the next quarter. And we have one booked for February 18th, which we'll talk about. But that's why I wanted to get Brian on the show today, give this some airtime and make sure people are aware of this. It's really targeting the folks that have equity, significant equity in their home. It doesn't even have to be necessarily significant. But kind of what I say as a ballpark number, if you have $100,000 of equity or more in your home, it's sitting there and growing with the market rate, but you can do a lot more with that. And it's not as difficult as you may think it is. So if you even have any inclination or maybe a little curiosity in the back of your head of how do I get in the real estate investing game? Stock market's been crazy over the last year. It's doing really well right now. But if you want out of the ups and downs of the stock market and you want to reallocate some funds to the real estate industry from an investment standpoint, the seminar is right up your alley. So without further ado, let's bring Brian in the studio.
All right, here he is.
It's the man.
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Well.
I'm doing well. So Lyndon, you can call me by my last name. That'd be fantastic.
All right, Dobbs. Did you move? You're a real estate agent. It looked like you bought a new house.
Well, you know what? I did not move. You know what did move was my and I don't know why, but my typical background moved. So I just thought this house looked a lot cleaner than mine. So I was just going to use this. It's actually
I like it. If you get ready to sell, let me know. I like that house.
It's not my office. So
okay.
Anyway, Brian, thanks again for having me on the show. I greatly appreciate that. And by the way, mailbox money from you is fantastic. So I would always like mailbox money, and when it's coming in, it's better. So
who doesn't want mailbox money, right?
Yes, we do need mailbox money.
Hopefully that new house you're living in has a nice big mailbox.
I need to put 2 in there. I mean, if it works with 1, it should work with 2, right?
No doubt. Well, hey, thanks for joining us today. I wanted to bring you on. This was kind of spur of the moment as we were separate work stream, right? We were talking about the seminar, and we recently got this book to Jake's on February 18th in Frisco. Yep. So I said, why not bring you on? Let's talk about it. Let's socialize it to the audience and get it out there. So you want to just give a little bit of background on what inspired you to start it. And I mean, I love the idea, and I've wanted to do something similar. And then, you kind of had it already down the road. So tell us a little bit about the kind of the brainchild of what started it. And then we'll talk about the next venue and kind of where we're going with it.
Absolutely. So one of the things after purchasing several homes and living there, I found out, and even my relatives were in real estate already, and so I knew a little bit about it. But what they didn't teach me is what I wanted to teach other people, and that was the whole premise, Brian and Lyndon, in creating this workshop was, if you understand appreciation and you understand principal reduction and you understand equity, well, that's all fine and dandy. But could we actually teach the consumer how to own correctly, stewardship aspect of it, how to sell correctly, where they're leveraged properly, and then how to buy? And that's what I've looked at, spending multiple years in this industry, doing the last 12 years in the industry of real estate coaching. I noticed that we were basically selling a lot of houses, but I didn't see a lot of education going out to the consumer. And that was one of my my big beefs in this. So hence the reason creating educated buyer, educated seller seminars, going out and showing people and investing is one aspect of it. Absolutely. Being diversified. We're not saying don't invest in the stock market. We want you to get your IRAs. We want you to get your mutual funds. We want you to be able to build up a saving and cash reserve. But there are some things that you can do by moving your house. So if you have that $100,000 of equity in your house, Brian, and we could help you sell that house, get you into a brand new house, then you can use a portion of that equity to pay off debt, to buy an investment property, to create additional income. You might like it so much that you want to buy 4 or 5 down the road, and you're building your portfolio to generate wealth. So basically teaching people a holistic approach to finances and holistic approach to real estate and how they're combined and they can work together in harmony, and they don't have to be, I don't have to have one or the other. I can actually have both and function very well or optimize my financial status or my financial state by utilizing both of them.
Yeah, so that's exactly right, and it's there's a lot, as we've socialized this and as we've talked to folks, a lot of them just say, hey, I've been thinking about doing this for a long time. I just don't know how to get started. I don't know who to talk to. I know an agent can help me buy a house, but what the heck do I do when I have it? How do I rent it out? How do I find the right people to put in there that are going to pay their rent and that are not going to wreck the place? How do I insure myself either with a home warranty or, with proper insurance? I don't know what levels to do, so there's so many questions that folks have when they get to the kind of the edge of the pool, and then they don't want to jump in or even dip their toes in because they don't know how to get started. And that's really what this is trying to help folks do, is get over that fear of getting in and, just get in with a bunch of other people that will jump with you, so to speak.
Absolutely. So let's break the seminar down into thirds. We devote, and it's not exactly a third here, but we're just going to go with thirds. It's just easy math there, Lyndon.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So we have one portion of our seminar is dedicated and devoted to the wealth building aspect, understanding the money aspect, understanding how that works and how that ebbs and flows. And then we go into the house aspect, the real estate aspect. We're looking at that, how that ebbs and flows. And then the third that I think is a true game changer in this seminar, Brian, is the panel. So you're not just hearing it from me, a realtor. You're not just hearing it from a lender. You are actually hearing it from all of us. And then we bring in a panel, anywhere from 6 to 8 industry professionals, insurance. We bring in financial planners. We bring in home warranty. We bring in inspectors. We bring in title people or escrow agents that can actually talk to you about it. We bring in, and Brian, you're a staple, and I didn't even mention that. We bring in the property management side.
Whatever, dude.
You are a staple in there, which is great, because I wouldn't want to do it without a property management piece in there, Brian, because that's the whole point, is to get all of us together. People can talk to you face to face, look you in the eye, they can shake your hand, they can ask questions, and that's where I think that our workshop seminars are actually growing in number and desirability, because we're bringing those professionals in under one roof that you can talk, you can get as many questions as you have answered. And by the way, we only bring in 6 to 8. We have a large partner network, and we utilize each piece on each seminar, and it's different panelists. So you get the best of both worlds, I think.
Yeah, for sure. And so few key points to point out here, right? Number one, it's free. We're not charging any money for people to come to the seminar and learn, right? So this is an educational opportunity for folks who are interested. There is actually food provided at this one. We're gonna have at least, I think, some appetizers over at Jake's, if not more. So even if you're going to learn hopefully a little something, and you might get a little bit of food in your belly too. But yeah, number three is really, to your point, that there's a team of folks in pretty much every ancillary aspect to the real estate industry that can help. They're either going to be at the seminar, or they're going to be within a phone call and a connection to that person or needed service. So that's the cool part about this. And really what got me going is that when we talked about it before we started, it was, I mean, you kind of need, in anything in life, right? You need a team of folks that are going to help you through. You're better as a team than you are by yourself. Mm-hmm. So even if you have all the knowledge, to actually do it all without a team of folks aligned with you, it's that much more difficult, right? So that's really what I liked about this. And there's other real estate seminars out there. I've been to several myself, and they're in it for to teach you a system and then to have you pay a lot of money to be part of that system. That's not what we're going for with this seminar. This is an educational opportunity for folks who are interested. And then, we are there on the back end really as coaches and as service providers to help them get to what their end goals are.
Absolutely. And I do like the team aspect. And even when we bring just a small group of our partner network, Brian, we have 6 to 8 people. What we do is we don't limit the people in the seminar just to the 6 to 8 people, but we, if they have questions and we need to bring them in further, we introduce them to our whole partner network. And that's the greatest part about this, is sharing. It's sharing, it's giving, it's free, so you can be educated. I would have loved to have this education when I bought my first house. And then it would have helped me buy my second house. And then it would have helped me sell correctly. It would have helped me do the right improvements or the right insurance or the right tax breaks. All of those things factor into this. So I can be a financially or a great steward of my finances. And I can be a great steward of my real estate that I own, whether it's an investment or whether it's a homestead. It makes no difference. I mean, if you don't want investment property and you would just like to figure out how to utilize your equity in your own house and purchase a new one, then you should come. You should be a part of our seminars, because it's going to teach you the valuable things that you can do to save money. Again, help you get out of debt or reduce your debt, help you utilize our partner network to save you a lot of time and headaches in the future. I would love this stuff.
Yeah, it's never too late to learn. It would have been great, like you said, to have this before you bought your first house, right? But you and me both, we're way down that road, having bought and sold many. But yeah, no, you're exactly right. And really, you think about it, just with any other investment, you don't start taking advantage of it until you get into it, right? So the sooner you learn about it and understand it, it's more opportunity down the road in the long haul.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry. We're having some technical difficulties with our.
Yeah, he's back on now. He's back on. Looks like he's got. Yep.
Okay. Yep. Good deal.
Looks like we're good to go.
Awesome. Well, no. So that's. I think we've got a one-pager on the actual seminar that's coming up here in Frisco on February the 18th. Yep, there it is. So the Educated Buyer, Educated Seller seminar, Frisco, Texas, Jake's Burger and Beer. So that's 6195 West Main Street. It's right across the street from Toyota Stadium and the Soccer Hall of Fame. So that's on February 18th, 2021. What's our time on that? At 6 to 8, I think.
6 to 8 p.m. Correct.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. So yeah, and that's another good point that we didn't mention. Some of these real estate seminars that are out there are all day long or all weekend long events, and this is not a get into all the details session. This is more of a high level. Here's what you can do. Let's talk about your goals, sort of thing, is the outcome of it. But here it's got some examples of what you can do with real estate investments, and plan for retirement with it. Pay for a kid's college education with it. Financial freedom, right? So a lot of folks talk about what's your number. That number being, what are your bills on a month-to-month basis? So your electricity, your car payments, all that. Add all that up. That's your number. And if you can attain that number with real estate investing, that gives you freedom to not have to work a day job. So there's all different kinds of ways and goals that people have with real estate, with investing in general, but real estate investing is, a key component to that, hopefully. And that's essentially what we're trying to do with this seminar. So coming out on February 18th, Jake's in Frisco, right across from Toyota Stadium. And spend a couple hours with us, have some food on us, and sit back and relax and ask questions.
That sounds great. Brian, I appreciate you allowing me to be on the show again today. And Lyndon, good to see you as always.
You too, Brian.
I'll probably call you later.
You know my number.
Yes, I do. Okay.
He knows not to pick up.
Yeah, I've got caller ID. I know when to answer, when to not. But I wanted to throw something in there just real quick, if you guys don't mind. I've attended several of those, and I've been involved in the real estate industry for 18 plus years, and I have never honestly and truly ever seen any home buyer seminar, anything to do with real estate, from an entry level like that seminar that you guys do. It is so thought provoking. It is so revealing of the opportunities that most people do not realize are there, or maybe you realize they're there, and kind of what Brian Poduska was saying, you might think it's too difficult. You guys have a room full of experts and an organization full of experts that are willing to share their knowledge for free to help people, number one, identify opportunities within what they have now and where they want to be. And then everybody else that has that expertise in each component of owning a home and buying a home and investing in a home. And I've learned so much. I mean, I'm not going to say I thought I knew it all, but I thought I'd heard it all up until that first one that I was privileged enough to be at, and I was stunned. I'm like, man, everybody needs to be in one of these. If you own a home or want to own one, you need to be there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for the testimonial.
I'll be looking for my mailbox money now, Brian Dobson.
That's right. That was a nice unpaid plug. So
unpaid? What? Unpaid?
Yeah.
Y'all promised me money at the beginning of this show.
I don't have any contract. Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
All right. Well, out of respect for your time, thanks for jumping on, Brian. Appreciate it. You're welcome to stay for the whole show if you want, but if you want to take off, that's your choice too. I won't be offended. Lyndon might, but I won't.
Well, I would love to. I do. I've got a real estate business that I've got to run back here. So anyway, you guys have a fantastic day.
Brian, he's got Lyndon, piano lessons, Brian.
I do have piano lessons. Don't tell anybody, Lyndon. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one.
Thanks for coming on. See you, bud.